Okay, kids, welcome back. Part two. We're going to start talking about finding a topic, okay, because that's one of your biggest pieces here. And then the next part, we'll talk about writing a thesis statement. So, first of all, okay, you have in the packet a plethora of options. I think there are 11. Yes, there are 11 ideas here. They are ideas. They are not the end-all, be-all. We can modify them. We can change them. Again, you can always contact me via Google Classroom, okay, and ask me questions about modifications, and I can respond to you there, okay. And you can also email me at Samantha Moses at bubblers.us. So either of those avenues are options, and I'm around, creeping about as normal. So, anyways. There are about 11 options here. I will tell you some of the most popular ones at this point are the evolution of a hero. So talking about or comparing and contrasting the epic hero versus the tragic hero, or the epic hero versus the romance hero, okay? And analyzing those components. So that's one option. One option is in reference to a writer's style. Maybe you're going to go and you're going to locate a couple pieces of British poetry. There's a ton of different British poets. And maybe you're going to analyze his or her writing style and compare and contrast a few poems that they have. And again, there's a lot of different pieces. There's religious aspects you can look at from different texts. We've kind of talked about some of those already. There is, when you start getting more into not contemporary, but Middle Ages, Renaissance, you can start talking about character development, which are also stylistic approaches from the writer's perspective. So all these things, and again, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by reading you all of this. It is on Google Classroom, okay, under the research paper section. And you can access it there, and you can kind of see the different ideas that are out there, and then we can tweak it and modify it to best fit you. So we'll deal with that. And like I said, you can always send me a message in reference to that. So the other place to look, if you happen to have your textbook, which I'm sure many of you don't, but if you do, there is a section, and I listed it up here, but it's also in your textbook on A26 of the research paper, okay? And that has the textbook broken down by concepts. It talks about like hero versus anti-hero. It talks about like the use of imagination. And then what it did is it labeled or laid out each piece of text that falls under that criteria. So maybe you want to write about humor and the use of satire in British literature. Okay, that is something that you could analyze. Okay, so I know that sounds kind of overwhelming, and you're probably sitting there going, what am I doing right now, Mrs. Moses? But don't you fret, my pets, because I'm going to talk to you next about writing a thesis statement and research. Probably first, actually, I'll talk about research, just kidding. And then we'll get into the thesis. So you can look up some ideas as long as you have access to the internet. Okay, so hopefully we can kind of muddle through this process together. Again, like I said, trying to do the best we can with what we've got, and working on it together. And like I said, I hope everyone's staying safe. And I will talk to you in the next installment of In Mrs. Moses' Kitchen, featuring your favorite English guru. I have to figure out how to pause this.